Hi, my name's Al and this is my wood shop, and I wanted to do a short video on my router table. I initially built this router table maybe 30 years ago, and then 4 or 5 years ago I upgraded the top, the lifting mechanism, and the fence. I wanted much more precision than I had with the old fence, which just had a couple knobs to lock it in place. So I'm going to talk about that a bit. The router table houses all of my routers and accessories, as well as bits, pattern bits, wrenches. Keeps all that stuff in one place. The router itself is a very old 3.5 horsepower Craftsman industrial router that was never meant to be mounted upside down in a router table. I had to cover all the switches because they were collecting dust. I removed the springs out of the base of it so that it wouldn't have so much resistance when I raised and lowered it. And I replaced the main bolt here for raising it with a 3/8 by 16 threads per inch bolt, which is important because that allows me to make adjustments to the height in 1/16 of an inch increments or any division of it. I'll give you an example of that. If we adjust the height from above the table, we're set at 0, and we turn this one full turn, we've gone 1/16 of an inch. Half a turn, now we're at 3/32, which is handy because then you don't have to measure everything out. You set it for 0, and then you can raise it 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch fairly easily without constantly measuring the height. The fence itself has the same thing going on. It has guide rails that run along both sides in the same 3/8 by 16 threaded rod. So there's a guide rail there, and around behind it, they're connected with a chain. So when you turn one side, you get both sides. And once again, if we turn this one turn, we've moved the fence 1/16 of an inch. Half a turn, 1/32 of an inch. 1/4 of a turn would be 1/64 of an inch. And half of that would be 128. Now over here on this side, there is a 8-tooth sprocket in there and a locking mechanism, so we can lock the fence at any increment of 128 degrees. This is just a modified bolt. I shaved off one side of it so that it'll lock the fence in any position. Or we can just leave it open and move it back and forth, and then lock it from the top. These two levers here will lock the fence in place. And it doesn't move. It doesn't go anywhere. In addition to that, I have stops for when you want to route, say, a drawer side, and you want it to stop at a specific location. You can put stops at any point or flip them out of the way. The two halves of the fence come together with a block of metal. So if we slide this fence together, loosening up these 4 knobs, slide that together, loosen this block up, and we can put these two together and lock it in place. and this keeps the two halves of the fence in co-plane with each other. The table has dust collection above and below the table, and it does a good job of keeping all of the dust out of the way. I also have mounted a switch that I tend to use with my knee. I can turn it off. The router itself is a soft start variable speed router, which can handle just about any bit they make for a router. So that's my router table, and I want to thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section.